Hi everybody, this is Silvio Canto in Dallas, Texas on Monday, September the 24th, and welcome to our video commentary. Well, we've had a couple of very bad examples of journalism here in the last 48 hours. I mean, these are two pretty bad ones. The first one is a story in the New Yorker that breaks on Sunday afternoon that there is another woman accusing Judge Kavanaugh of bad behavior, this time when he was a student at Yale University. And it's written by Roman Farrow and Jane Meyer. And the story, of course, is out there, and everybody's talking about the other woman. But then, as you get into the story, you begin to have all these holes in the story. And one of the biggest ones, of course, and this is amazing, but it basically said that the woman cannot confirm that Kavanaugh was at the party. So what's the point of the story then? If she cannot confirm that he was at the party, what's the point of the story? I mean, what's the story about? So a lot of media critics, a lot of serious media people are coming down very hard on this story, and they should. This is terrible journalism. This should not be allowed. I'm amazed that the New Yorker ran with this, but they did. And here we are, another story without much evidence or information. Then the other big story is what happened on Monday morning when you had all these breaking news stories that Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein was on his way to the White House. He was summoned to the White House, and he was going to resign or he was going to be fired. All of this, of course, related to the New York Times story that broke on Friday. Well, it turns out that, yes, Mr. Rosenstein did go to the White House, had nothing to do with the story. In fact, I have to be honest, when I first saw the story or heard about that the Deputy Attorney General was going to the White House to be fired or to resign, my initial thought was, wait a minute, but President Trump is not at the White House. President Trump is at the UN. And that's exactly right. President Trump was at the UN. He's not coming home for a couple of days. So Rosenstein was just going to the White House on something else that he had already planned. I'm not even sure who he met with. But in both of these cases, and this one with Rosenstein, I don't know who these sources are. I don't know who is talking to these media people, but the idea that you would turn an entire Monday morning into speculation about Rosenstein getting fired or Rosenstein resigning, and you have Democrats, speculating about what it means, Trump's Saturday night massacre. The whole thing was a farce. He didn't go to the White House to resign. We don't even know if he's going to resign. They're supposed to meet with President Trump on Thursday. So I just don't know what's happening to journalism. But when you put out a story like that about a second woman and the story has more holes than the first one, and then you do this breaking story about Rosenstein resigning or getting fired when in fact nothing like that was happening, you really have to begin to wonder who's putting together these stories and who in fact is double checking these stories and what exactly is going on, sources and information that these people are working on. Because if I'm an editor of a newspaper and I do stuff like this, I'd be pretty embarrassed. And I would think that, if I'm the editor of a newspaper and I see something like this, I would perhaps fire the reporters involved for basically writing a story like this about a second woman that has more holes in it than the first one. So anyway, just not a good day for journalism, not a good day for journalism. And journalism has already had some pretty bad days lately with all the leaks and all the stuff. And I just hope that at some time, we get back to a time when you didn't have stuff like this. Of course, journalists are going to make mistakes. Of course, they're humans. But these are not mistakes. These are not mistakes. The story about the second woman was just sloppy journalism. That's all that was. And the one about Rosenstein resigning or getting fired today, that's just bad sources. That's just people telling you lies and you're believing them. And that's all there is to it. So I don't know. Not a good day for journalism. That's all that I will say. Thank you for watching. We have all of these videos over on YouTube. We have them on my Twitter and we have them on my blog. And if September 24th is your birthday, happy birthday. Bye-bye, everybody.